Did you guys have any challenges, perhaps, with the movie? Was there a scene that was maybe a little more difficult to shoot? Or maybe, if not, what was the most fun scene to shoot?
Oh, I mean...
No. I mean, go no, say the challenging one first, and then we'll do the fun one.
Well, challenging is interesting. I think in general, the way that the movie is structured is there are a lot of quite intense two-handers. And so you're very conscious that there are actors coming in who don't know the crew, who don't know the rest of the cast, who've maybe met you once, and they're having to put themselves in a position that makes them really vulnerable. And so the thing that was really important to me, and I hope that we achieved, was to make the set itself incredibly light-hearted and fun and supportive, so that when they came in, they wouldn't feel like, you've got to feel like you can screw up on a film set, because it's such high pressure when you're an actor, and I know that actors often sort of seem like sort of prima donnas, or these two certainly aren't, but it's that you have the least amount of time. Everyone sets up, the lighting takes forever, everything takes forever, and then you have to step on, these guys have to step on and just ace it in no time at all with everyone looking at them. And so you've got to just make them want to try stuff, I guess.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I mean, genuinely, like, holding a coffee cup and just looking like I'm from planet Earth was, like, enough of a challenge. No, but truly, I mean, like, she's, like, truly a master, you know what I mean? And, like, I would, like, really be marveling at just, like, very specific stuff, because the difficult, like, little things of acting are so... just, like, to do the most simple act of business and to sort of integrate it. And meanwhile, I'm, like, eating a French fry, being like, I mean, do I even look like I have human DNA at this point? But, you know what I mean? So just really, like... I don't know. The whole thing was difficult, but it was a good environment to. But I find sometimes the smallest things in acting are actually the most difficult. The scene that seems the most casual, where you're doing it's hard to do nothing on camera, but I succeeded.
It's hard to just be a blank wall.
And you perfected how to hold a coffee cup.
Yeah. Well, you know what? No, I'll see.
But that's the thing about these two in particular, and why I feel so lucky that they said yes to the movie, because this was like the dream. I mean, I didn't think even for a minute that I would get Carrie and Beau to be in this movie. But what was so interesting is because they both come from quite different worlds, I guess. It was like watching two geniuses, but geniuses in a completely different way, kind of try and work out almost like what the other person is doing. And it's so, and which is kind of the chemistry that you want for people who are falling in love, because when you meet someone and you're like, oh, I don't know what, I like this, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know how to act around you.
I don't know.
And I didn't know how to act around her.
But I
think that's right. It's right. Yeah. But actually, it did help. It was something I remember when I went to audition. I did like my first take, and Emerald was like, "That's really good. Like, yes, like Ryan should be very nervous around her." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a choice I'm making. That's a conscious choice I'm making right now."
I just remember one scene when, Beau plays a doctor, and we were in the hospital. It was like one of the first scenes that we did where he had to wear a lab coat. And he would do like little bits of improv here and there that my most challenging part of the shoot for me was trying not to laugh all the time because it was so funny and both so funny. But he wrapped out one of the scenes by just pointing a little pen torch in my face and saying, "I'm a doctor."
Because it is and the truth is, acting is so on the edge of being ridiculous all the time. You know what I mean? You're a second, but I think that's actually where things, in theory, feel alive and spontaneous.
Totally.
Is being right on the edge of realizing how ridiculous it
well, and
is.
it's like, I think all things that are really compelling, there's a kind of good taste, bad taste, there's a kind of being brilliant, but also kind of terror. You know, you want it to be like, well, because I mean, I don't mean that. I mean, you know, life is like that. All of the most intense experiences in your life are beautiful and terrible and terrifying and huge. So you kind of don't want people to come in and stand on their mark and be like, hello, and do it perfectly. You want it to be a bit textured and weird.
Do you feel like that kind of going off that duality was a very important theme for you to explore? I mean, given Carrie's character, and like you just said, everything that people go through is beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Was that a theme you explored?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, certainly for me, all the movies that I love are, you know, American Psycho and To Die For and you know, the kind of movies that are just on the face of it incredibly like beautiful and sort of funny and silly and great music, and then underneath it's just like rotten. And I just think that stuff, to me, the kind of rot inside everything, it is both hilarious and like disastrous. And so yeah, I think it's always conscious of that stuff. And these guys do it like with their hands tied behind their backs in a really amazing way.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
It was a very difficult sex scene to film.
Ooh. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. This was amazing. Thank you for making me laugh
Thank
today. I needed the
you.
wake up. So,
Good.
Oh, good.
yes.